Hello and welcome to another episode of Back Nine Report. We are so happy to have Carlos Torres back with us, who's kind of been on sabbatical. He's working so hard he doesn't have time to talk with us, but we conned him into coming and talking a little bit about the Ryder Cup. You know, remember the Ryder Cup where the United States took another big loss. Carlos, you're back with us, buddy.
Hey, glad to be here. And yeah, the U.S. apparently was napping or something. I don't know what happened to them. They got steamrolled once again. They have this
Too
thing
much
they go to Europe.
lasagna.
Yeah, it's too much. They concentrated on, I think, too much vacation and not playing at all.
Carlos, what we want to talk about a little bit, we're going to talk about the Ryder Cup, but we're coming at it from a little different angle. There's been a lot of mumblings that the players want money. Now, we've kind of seen this before. Back in 1992, there was a guy by the name of David Duval. You remember David, right? A pretty good player in his day, right? Won an Open Championship, won a bunch of regular tour events, shoots 59 in Vegas. He could play a little bit, but he almost didn't go to the Ryder Cup because he wanted pay. So that's when the PGA and the European Tour came up with a compromise for the players. Said, listen, we can't pay you, but we'll put $200,000 into the charity of your choice. So the players are getting money going into a charity rather than into their pocket. And Carlos, we're doing this when the Ryder Cup is at an all-time high. I mean, everybody watches the Ryder Cup. Even hockey fans watch the Ryder Cup, right? You don't have to be a golfer to enjoy watching it. A total of 271,000 people from 100 different countries attended. 271,000 attended the Ryder Cup in Italy. Internet post reached over 600 million impressions, 197.6 million social media interactions, and it's just unbelievable how this on social media and across Twitter and all the social media outlets. They're talking like the Ryder Cup's Europe's platforms alone, impressions numbered over 347 billion. That's a 117% increase over the 2018 Ryder Cup in Paris. So the popularity is at an all-time high. The people that run it know that they're making billions off this thing, right? And the PGA of America and the DP World Tour own this thing. Now, the PGA Tour is a part owner of the DP World Tour, so they benefit indirectly from it. Plus, the PGA of America pays a bunch of money into 20%, I think, of the profits go into the retirement fund for the PGA Tour. So they're getting something out of it, but the players, they want money in their pocket. I mean, Carlos, it costs money to take that European vacation. When you got your wife with you, you got your kids with you, it's expensive. And then even if it's in a U.S. Ryder Cup, they got those second homes in the Bahamas to keep up and the jet fuel to pay for and those private jets. So it's a rough life for these guys, Carlos. How can they get by?
Oh man, I am about to cry here for them. I really am. I mean, they are sacrificing so much once every 2 years to do this thing. And I think they should get another job just to make sure that they can pay everything. This really
Maybe get a
sucks.
job down to Walmart. Hey, how you doing today? Welcome to Walmart.
Yeah, or maybe Lowe's or something. Start
Yeah.
tweeting people. Or maybe Uber. That's paying really good,
Uber,
right?
good. Yeah, that's even
Paying.
better is the DoorDash thing. That's even better. Then they can take a snack from one of the bags when they're going. So
Yeah, that way they can feed the family and all that
yeah,
stuff. That definitely is ridiculous. To me, it's honestly ridiculous. These people are set for life, no matter what they do. Already they're set for life. I mean, what is it that once every 2 years, and then if you add the every year, okay, because you have to do the President's Cup the next year. But talking about the Ryder Cup, it's once every 2 years. What is it the problem with them to really give something back? I mean, with all the money they make already, they are the top players in the world. They are not going to miss it. Let me make this clear. The only people that are worried about this is the American players, some of the American players, not all of them, is the American players. There's not a single player on the other side crying and whining about I'm not getting the money, or you're getting my intellectual property and all this stuff. Really, it's not. It's only the American players that are going through this. And I absolutely think it's just whining. And there's something that the Ryder Cup is something for you to actually give back to your country. Feel something that is bigger than you at some point. Okay, that's how it should be done. These people get money to their pension fund, so even if they retire, that money is being funneled through also to the pension fund. All those players that are playing at that time. Okay, so I really can't take this whining anymore from the American team. Really.
Yeah, it's a little bit much to take. Patrick Cantley seems to be the leader in this thing. And Carlos, it really appears to me like there was probably only a few players out of the 12 American players that really feel this way. I can't see Scotty Scheffler worrying about getting a check for playing on the American team. I can't see Jordan Spieth or Justin Thomas worrying about it too much. So my point is, listen, nobody's going to force you, Patrick. If you don't want to go, don't go. Just stay home.
Exactly.
No big deal. You got to get paid to go. Just stay home. Just say no. It's okay. We don't like you that much anyhow. So, if you want to make a big deal about it, you don't want to wear a hat, just stay home. It's
He's
okay.
getting married. Remember, he's getting married. The tan lines are
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh yeah. Well, if he keeps this kind of he'll get his attitude changed in a marriage real quick. I guarantee you. That won't hold at home. But so Carlos, let's take this another step. Okay. If you're going to pay the guys that are in this thing, what do you think would be fair? I know you said no way we're going to pay them, but if you had to pay them, what do you think's fair? I mean, is 200,000 a slap in the face? I mean, these guys when they play, they expect to get millions of dollars, right? Most of these guys average probably $250,000, $300,000 every time they tee it up. So what's fair? I mean, is $200,000 fair? Would 500,000 be fair? If you're paying $500,000 for 24 players, that's $12 million out of $1 billion earnings for the Ryder Cup. That's about 12%. So is it fair to pay 10 or 12% back to the players out of the profits?
Well, I wouldn't call it billions that they're making. They're making millions, but
I bet they're making billions.
mm, well, according to the last one I saw, it wasn't that much. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, they're already getting those $200,000. The way that I see it is, look, I have to at some point give some money anyway to some charity. It's not going to come out of my pocket. They're
And
doing it
most of these guys, it's their own charity anyhow.
so yeah. So anyway, at this point, you have to yearly they do some charity work and all this stuff. I'm getting $200,000 that I have to not put out of my pocket and give it to charity. Okay, I just go out and play for 3 days and that's it. That's all I'm doing. If you want to add something, I would say just transport them there. That would be the other thing that I would say. If they're worrying so much about
They do
getting
that
there to
anyhow. They
that
don't
place,
pay. They don't pay for anything, Carlos. All the clothes, all the food, all the expenses, everything is covered. They don't pay a dime out of their pocket.
I agree. What I'm saying is, the families, if you want to get your wife or your close people there, just bring them there. That's what all I would add. But at this time, I think they're getting more than their fair because what, like you're saying, they're used to having maybe $250,000 every time they play, they tee it up. So you're getting almost there. You're getting $200,000. It's just going to a charity that anyway you're gonna have to give that at some point during the year. So hey, you might have your your charities covered for the whole year with that payment right there.
Yeah, I find that a little bit strange. This comes around, like we said, we saw it, back in the 90s. Here we are now, 30 years later, we're going back kind of through the same thing again. But I can't really get on the side of Patrick Cantley on this. I can just, all I can say, like I said before, Patrick, if you don't want to play, don't play. We don't want to care. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want you making some statement. It's not the place for it. And I really think it took away from the American team, and I really think that really hurt them and the whole thing. And I really think it helped the Europeans. And I do want to say we haven't done this publicly, but the Europeans played brilliantly. Luke Donald, every decision was right on the money. He did fantastic. If they don't choose him for a captain a second time, they're nuts because he was wonderful. So, Carlos, anything else on this point before we close this down for the night?
No, I agree. If you really want to get paid, just don't play. Just don't play. Just stay out and definitely. But at the same time, if the Americans are going to get to be paid, then the Europeans, then you're going to have to think about paying them as well. But I hope so. I hope really that stays that way. And if somebody just doesn't want to be there, really, you're hurting your team. You're hurting the chemistry that really already the Europeans have a big advantage over you. So definitely, I agree with you. You want to get paid, just say, hey, I want to get paid, so just disqualify me from here. I'm not going there. But I really look forward to see what's going to happen with it. I know that there's going to be some negotiations within the next 6 months that are going to happen, but I truly hope that it doesn't go anywhere else.
Carlos, we want to thank you a lot for coming in and chatting with us. And you always make great points and you're always up to date on what's going on in the golf world. Hope everything's going great for you. And again, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to see you again, man. It's been a while, and hopefully we can do this sometime soon again.
Count on it.